A hot-button topic that has appeared to come to the surface this week was because of the weed Super Bowl, of course, with Denver and Seattle. Both places have basically let marijuana become legal in some ways, some fashion. But now the question has been brought up to Roger Goodell repeatedly. Even Pete Carroll has been on record saying maybe they should look into it. Not verbatim, but he has said, hey, maybe we should look into it. Maybe the NFL should look into marijuana use and maybe just make it legal. And a lot of people, mainly out of California and the other states, have basically said, yeah, maybe they should. Look, what's worse, driving drunk or smoking marijuana at home? Taking painkillers for the pain or smoking marijuana for the pain? Mark Brunell went on ESPN and had some harsh comments. But first, Antonio Cromartie, who brought this again to the surface just a few days ago. Here's what he said, and I quote, "They need to just let it go. Players just going to do it anyway. They just need to let it go. They need to go ahead and say, y'all go ahead, smoke it. Do what you need to do." Then Cromartie reiterated afterwards, not reiterated, but posted on Twitter afterwards, basically saying that he does not smoke weed, and he was misquoted by saying "were" instead of "the players," and that he doesn't toke up at all, which is totally fine. It's completely fine. But then Ryan Clark, who is what seems like a freelance guy for ESPN, and he has gone on the ESPN airwaves, whether it's NFL Live, SportsCenter, what have you, he also took a not harsh stance, but a truthful stance, and the stance that he thinks is right on this very subject, and I agree with. Here's what Ryan Clark said via ESPN.com. "I know guys on my team who smoke, and it's not a situation where you think, oh, these guys are just trying to be cool. These are guys who want to do it recreationally." Continuing on, "A lot of it is stress relief." That's a big one. "A lot of it is pain and medication. Guys feel like if I can do this, it keeps me away from maybe vicodin. It keeps me away from pain prescription drugs and things that guys get addicted to. Guys look at this as a more natural way to heal themselves, to stress relieve, and also to medicate themselves for pain. Guys are still going to do it." I completely agree with what he is saying. We have seen studies, we have seen the medical experts put out that, you know what, you can absolutely get addicted to painkillers. I personally believe that you can get addicted to painkillers, you can get addicted to marijuana. You can. If you smoke it a ton of times a day, I would rule that that's addiction. But the health benefits of marijuana have already been proven. And the guys like Mark Brunell, who I'm about to read the quote of, his way of thinking is just flat out wrong on this very subject, and it's unfortunate. Look, it's fine to react to both sides. I respect his opinion. I absolutely do. And here's what he said, just so we have some context. Here's what Mark Brunell said. "There should be no place for marijuana in the NFL because it is harmful. It hurts brain development. It hurts brain function. Former teammates are different. When they started, it has taken a toll on them physically, mentally. Marijuana can ruin lives." Marijuana can ruin lives? I'm pretty sure, even in the sport, that if you keep bashing your head against someone else's head with a helmet that you wear, that can probably ruin your life. But if there's a way to cope with the stress, and there's a better way of going about this instead of many athletes, whether it's football players or hockey players, I mean, R.I.P. Derek Boogaard, who unfortunately mix their drugs and become addicted to their drugs instead of just maybe smoking a little marijuana and feeling not as much pain, I would say that that's a win. As opposed to mixing drugs, drinking on drugs, drinking when you're taking those prescription pills and whatnot. Mark Brunell, one more time. "The players smoke because they can. Honestly, as far as the testing is concerned, the policy needs to change, in my opinion. It needs to be random. It needs to be often. It has to be stricter, just like the performance-enhancing drugs testing is strict. It has a negative effect on NFL players and anyone that does it. I think testing should increase." Well, it looks like Roger Goodell is keeping an open mind on this, so once again, Mark Brunell's thoughts are going to be not obliterated, but they're going to be pushed to the side. Ryan Clark, one more time. "It's 100% true. They're fighting a losing battle. The testing isn't stringent. There is one random test during OTAs and minicamps during the offseason, and everybody will be tested early in training camp. After that, there are no more tests. So guys understand the ways to get around failing a drug test. And then he also put out this tweet. I don't smoke marijuana. I won't smoke marijuana. The NFL shouldn't push marijuana, but I'd be a fool to say that people don't use it. So Ryan Clark, Pittsburgh Steelers safety, fine defensive player for the Steelers, keeping an open mind and also just keeping it real. Here's what Roger Goodell said, and then we will wrap up. It's still an illegal substance on a national basis. It's something that is part of the CBA with the players. It is questionable. As to the positive impacts in the face of the very strong evidence of the negative effects, including addictions and other issues. We'll continue to follow the medicine. Our experts right now are not indicating that we should change our policy in any way. We are not actively considering that at this point in time. But if it goes down the road sometime, that's something that we would never take off the table. I understand what Roger Goodell is saying. I'm reading between the lines, but I personally do believe that he's keeping an open mind about this issue. I believe that he's probably, not within the next year, not within the next 2, but he is going to regulate it, and he is going to say, you know what? It's fine. Marijuana use has been proven medically that it doesn't have horrible health benefits. You know what it does? It makes me better at FIFA. It makes others better at video games. It helps you maybe take away a little bit of the pain that you have when you're aching with your body. Look, I'm not an NFL player. I haven't smoked up in a while. But I will tell you this. The only thing that it might kill is motivation. And out of anything, and Joe Rogan even was quoted on his podcast. I'm summarizing, not verbatim. He said, if you are a less motivated person because you're smoking marijuana, then you just wanted to find an out in order to be unmotivated and lose your motivation because you already had that thought in the back of your head. So, I mean, I'm asking for all of your thoughts. I know I've thrown a lot at you guys. Again, it seems like Roger Goodell is keeping an open mind about this. Hopefully, he is open-minded even more in the near future regarding this issue.